The TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Welcome back to the show, all Cherries fans, and welcome to all of our friends from Argentina. It is great to have you with us. Now, of course, AFC Bournemouth signed for 6.6 million from Lanús in the Argentina Premier Division, Julio Soler. And what we was going to do was find out a little bit more about our new signing. Now, I do have a very, very, very special guest with me. But before we do get into this, here's a little bit about our sponsors, Dental on the Banks. To find out more about them, visit dentalonthebanks.co.uk. Now, Julio Soler, of course, he's a 19-year-old, almost 20, and of course has been at Lanús for a long, long time. Now, a little bit about Lanús, actually, that I did find out that was very, very interesting. But years ago, in 1951, believe it or not, they actually broke the transfer record when they sold Jose Florio to Torino for around about £50,000. Now, I've had to do a little bit of conversion with that. It works out as, at the time, 1.5 million Argentine pesos, which I had to convert into dollars at the time, and then convert it to dollars nowadays, and then, of course, into Great British pounds nowadays. So, yes, it works out as about 50,000, but it does beat the record, which is on record as being the top one, that actually was set, or as it says set, by Jackie Searle when he left Notts County to Sheffield Wednesday. So there we go. There's a little bit of a fact for a pub quiz there. So let's get into it. I have got a very, very special guest, and I have got a leading commentator in Argentina with me. So without further ado, welcome back onto the show, Alejo Rivera. Welcome back to the show, Alejo. How are you doing?
Hi, Craig. Thank you very much for touching me again. Always is a pleasure talk with you about football and about the Argentinian player, Argentinian national team. Thank you very much again.
Not a problem at all. And the last time we spoke, what happened next went very, very well, didn't it? Because, of course, we spoke before Argentina won the World Cup and that epic game against France. Alejo, I've never seen England win a World Cup in my lifetime. I wasn't here in 1966, as you can imagine. But what was the atmosphere like when you finally lifted that trophy again?
This is a feel very, very hard to describe, because Argentina and England are two nations that bred and live for football.
Yes.
When I was in the semi-final game in Russia World Cup, I was in the middle of the England fans, and I discovered this time how you live the football.
Yes.
It's very, very, very similar Argentinian fans.
Oh, most definitely. And I saw a couple of videos. There was a couple of bloggers that went over to Argentina to experience that final. Of course, Paris is literally just across the water from us. So the vloggers did go over to Argentina, and it looked like such a party as well afterwards. So massive congratulations on that. I'm guessing that's not Messi's last World Cup. I'm guessing he's aiming for the next one as well, is he?
The final in Qatar was the most fabulous game, I think, in the World Cup history. Not only for the importance of the game, but this was because the world was watching this game. The people still comment this game. People that not only is very football fans, casual fans, always remember and will remember forever this game. And about Messi, he is, in my opinion, planning the next step. And when he decided go to the USA, MLS, I think it was a very clinical decision for Leo. He doesn't want the pressure in Europe. He doesn't want live in Europe with obviously the fans ask for him for trophy, for Champions League, for league. And in United States, Messi down about the level, the football level, but is enjoying, is happy, and in my opinion, is planning for the next World Cup. I think he will be playing in the next World Cup, and it will be the sixth, the record, and Argentina, the national team, can count with Leo in his new role, veteran new role. You understand me?
Yes. Well, of course, AFC Bournemouth have signed a new Argentinian defender and you can correct me on the pronunciation. I always want to get the pronunciation right, but we were talking about it off air as well. But Julio Soler, have I said that right? Have I got that right?
Yeah, right.
I have got it right. Perfect. So of course we have signed him for 6.6 million from Lanús, who are quite a decent side in Argentina, aren't they? Do tell us a little bit about Lanús.
Julio Soler is one of the great promise in Argentinian football. Even though, as I say, he was born in Paraguay.
Yes.
This is important. At the age of 11, he set foot on the AFA grounds for the first time. The Argentinian national team grounds for the first time at 11. At 11. When he was 15, Craig, when Julio Soler was 15, he was called up for the under 17.
Mm-hmm.
When he was 17, he was called up by the under 20. He was very, very, very mature player, and he turned 20 in the next month. I think Bournemouth really bought the jewel of the Argentinian football for the future.
Oh, most definitely. And he is currently with the Argentina under-20s team for the competition at the moment in South America.
Yes.
What is Argentina's chances in that competition, do you feel?
Argentina always is the favorite along Brazil and Uruguay. Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay have the way to the qualify. Bournemouth would be or feel quiet about Soler play this championship, because those championships for the players in South America are very, very important.
Yes.
And when the team go well, when the player goes well, the value in the market appreciate.
Mm-hmm. And of course, and it's a good point actually, Alejo, because I feel that in Europe, the under-20s competitions and of course a competition that England did win a little while back isn't probably looked at as in the same way as in South American football. It's not held in as much prestige, but the under-20s and the under-23s competitions are a lot more prestigious, aren't they?
Yes. When the England national team, but one thing is important.
Yeah.
If your national team won the trophy, it means that they have talented players, talented young players. This is the point here. Argentina, 30 years ago, in 1995, started the virtuous cycle with José Peckerman, and from this moment, Argentina was very, very success about the young team. And today, in the staff of the world champion are all of player that that time in 1995. Scaloni, Samuel, Aymar, Ayala, 4 players that the starter his career with the youth team.
Yes, where as I sometimes think that maybe it doesn't work the same way really with the England national side, and sometimes there is players that go by the wayside. But coming back to Soler, of course he got his debut, if I'm right in thinking, under Ricardo Zelinski for Lanús. When he got his debut in the Argentina Premier League, how did it go? And was he traditionally in that left back position that we have signed him to fill?
Yes. His first club in Argentina was the same club that Diego Armando Maradona, Argentinos Juniors.
Yes.
He was playing in Argentinos Juniors that in a game versus Lanús, the staff of the youth player in Lanús look at Julio Soler and send his very, very, very jiggle of Argentinos Juniors. At this point, Soler changed the club and was from Argentinos Juniors to Lanús. Because I explained to you at the age 11, he really was on the radar of the Argentinian national team at youth, obviously, and always of the Club Atlético Lanús. Ricardo Zielinski put him in the first club in the Premier League because he shows a very, very mature character versus age. This is why the Bournemouth look at him.
Yes.
He showed mature. He showed commitment. He's very, very disciplined player. And I think Bournemouth bought a very, very intensive player.
Yes. How disappointed, because of course, former manager of Southampton, which is just down the road from Bournemouth, Mauricio Pellegrino, how disappointed was he to lose Soler? Because Mauricio hasn't managed a game in the Argentinian Premier League for Lanús so far. How disappointed, and what's he done to fill the gap that Soler has left?
No, in Argentina it's very normal. It's accepted because Mauricio Pellegrino is a former European player.
Yes.
He was playing in Barcelona, in Liverpool. He knows perfectly what means that the Premier League club offer money for you. He knows perfectly. He's not disappointed. He understands perfectly the situation. He knows, and he knew when he signed in Lanús that this situation could happen in the next month. Maybe was early than later, but
Yes.
Julio Soler obviously was leaving Lanús this year.
Yes, no, fair enough. With regards to Andoni Iraola, one thing that we've noticed very recently is he likes his players to be very adaptable and have multiple positions. So, of course, Soler is a left back by trade, but can he play in any other positions on that pitch? And where would you say, Alejo, he would fit in?
Yes, the original position is with the stream winger.
Yes.
He was winger, and then when he was managed, I think for Pablo Aimar in the youth Argentinian national team, he was in defense. He was in defense, obviously for the left, and I think Iraola was Iraola have the eye of the tiger to discover if Julio can play only
Yes.
in the defensive line or he can play in the midfielder. Those are the two positions in the left, in defensive line, and for the left, like a winger.
Perfect. One thing that Julio Soler is going to have to compete with, and one player that he's going to have to compete with is Milos Kerkez, of course, a Hungarian left back who has been absolutely fantastic this season. Are you confident that, firstly, if Kerkez stays at AFC Bournemouth in this window, which there has been talk about Kerkez going to Liverpool, but let's say that Kerkez does stay, which is what everybody's hoping, how much pressure can Soler put on Kerkez when he returns from international duty?
This is my opinion, Craig. The Argentinian player, like Julio Soler, had pressure from the start in his career. Okay, when I describe to you that Julio set foot at 11 in the AFA ground, at 11, obviously he felt pressure. He felt pressure. The difference between South American player, I think, and European player is that here in South America, the experience or the competition prepare to the player to assume this pressure. You understand me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm confident that Julio will be at the same level that Kerkez. I don't know if here, but when he breathes the fresh air on Bournemouth, when he knows your new teammates, I'm confident that Soler could be the show his true level.
Well, he was very, very good against West Bromwich Albion, which was his debut in the FA Cup. Against a team a division below, but I'm sure from what I saw that day, he can make the step up. One other Argentinian player in the squad is Marcos Senesi. How important do you think, and do you think Marcos will have quite an influential role to play with helping Soler become accustomed to, firstly, Bournemouth as a town, but secondly, to the players around him?
No, most definitely. When Soler signed for the Bournemouth, I think that was very, very important the Marco Senesi presence here. Marco Senesi is a player following permanently for the Argentinian national team.
Yes.
For the Argentinian national team. And his abilities, he's a lefty center back, is very important. Two lefty in defense is very important, not only for the Bournemouth, but also for the Argentinian national team. And the Senesi experience in the Premier League and Senesi experience in the Dutch Championship will be very important for Julio Soler for the adapt more quickly.
Of course, Soler as well did get called up to the full Argentinian national team as well. He didn't play any minutes. However, that would have been a very, very good experience to be around the players, of course, that won that World Cup.
I think the players choose the teams always. I think in Argentina, but also obviously in England or in Brazil, in Germany, when the World Cup is close, like this moment, the players dream for final squad list. Julio Soler come behind, obviously. Argentina is the current World Cup, and the roster is very, very, very close with players, except Lionel Messi, except Otamendi, young players. Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister are young players still, and they will be in the national team for the next year. But Julio Soler, if goes well, if his level is okay, if his level is good or very good, I think could be the opportunity for the next World Cup. I think.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed, because it will mean that he's done a very, very good job for AFC Bournemouth as well. That he gets in the Argentina side. I'm going to ask a question off the topic of Julio Soler here, but can Argentina? I think this has never been done, but can Argentina win back-to-back World Cups? Can you see that happening?
I think this very, very, very unique opportunity to win the World Cup again.
Yes.
Because Argentina is the current world champion. This is an advantage, in my point of view. This is an advantage. Second, the players that the team are the captain, are the leaders in the Premier League clubs. When you see Emiliano Martin, his level. When you see Enzo Fernandez, his level in Chelsea. When you see Alexis McAllister, it's very hard to not think about be world champion again. Obviously, England have a very quality team.
Yes.
In Qatar, doesn't have lucky against France. But Argentina is in position to be the challenger or the challenge for the second World Cup in a row.
Well, I believe it would be one of the first times in history, or modern history, for that to happen. So, yeah, all the very, very best with that. One thing as well we did touch upon before we started recording, Alejo, was Julio Soler actually does come from a footballing family as well. What more can you tell us about that?
Julio Soler was born in Paraguay. This is your topic.
Yes.
Was
So,
born
yeah. So, did his dad play football as well professionally?
Yes. His father was His father was a midfielder in Paraguay team, Sol de América.
Yes. Excellent.
Paraguay have a lot of quality players too. You have in the Premier League Almirón, Enciso, Diego Gómez, and this country, small country, if you compare with Argentina, have a lot of quality players, and today would be qualified for the next World Cup with an Argentinian coach named Gustavo Alfaro.
Yeah. No. Well, we shall see. But without a shadow of a doubt, we'll be seeing Argentina at the World Cup, and hopefully we'll see Julio Soler. I'm sure we'll see Lionel Messi as well, and I'm sure he'll be producing some more of his magic. But Alejo, thank you so much for providing your insight into Julio Soler and, of course, his career within Argentina to date.
Thank you very much, Craig. It's always a pleasure for me. You touch me for speak about football that you and Argentinian fans love so much. I expect to see Julio in the Bournemouth. I congrats for the Bournemouth fans for this extraordinary performance, and I wish to you very luck for the future.
No, thank you so much, Alejo. It's been a real pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Craig.
And thank you, everybody, for joining me. Hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button below to be alerted to any new videos we do here on Up the Cherries in all departments. Do go check out our interview tab. There is loads of interviews with the likes of Professor Brian Cox, Omid Jalili, the comedian, Tiff Nadell, formerly of Top Gear. We've also got musicians from the likes of Ocean Colour Scene, Five, Hardfi, Kasabian, The Happy Mondays, The Blue Tones, The Farm, Dodgy. There's probably somebody I've missed out there, but I do apologise to them in advance as well. Do also check out all of our cherry pickings as well. We've had some really good guests on them. And also we have had recently Paul Belveston to talk about the mid-term report. And of course, we've also had Neil Meldrum and Mark Pugh to talk about that pretty special season back in 2014-2015. Now, who can forget that year? I can't believe it's 10 years ago now. It's crazy, isn't it, where time flies? Thank you again for joining us. Thank you again to Alejo for joining us as well. Always a pleasure when he's on. And we shall see you in the next show. We'll see you soon.
The TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.